Hello, everyone. This is Micah hanging out here inside the Seacrest studio. And you know what is super cool is right now I have my buddy Maya on the computer. And that is, she's doing her show, Maya's Latest News, Keep You in the Groove. But even more importantly, she has a special guest on her show. Maya, who do you have right here on Maya's Latest News, Keep You in the Groove?
Rachel Bloom.
Rachel Bloom.
Hi, I'm great. It's nice to be able to see people's faces, even if it's on Zoom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
So first of all, I'm just so excited to be talking to you. So thank you so much for calling in. And my first question for you is, what got you interested in comedy?
Oh, wow. Well, my grandfather was an amateur stand-up comedian. And so I was first exposed to comedy by seeing him perform always for free. I don't think maybe he was paid, but I saw him perform at a couple town fairs. I would go to convalescent homes with him. And so that was my first exposure to comedy. And I think looking back, it was jokes he probably read in a joke book, or old kind of Jewish man jokes that had been passed down since the 1940s. But that was my first exposure. And as I got older and I really fell in love with musical theater, I loved the funny parts of musical theater. I loved making people laugh. And I think that it partially was, I was made fun of a lot, but when I made people laugh, I felt like suddenly I was in control. And I was in control of my own image, and I could laugh at myself before other people laughed at me. So that really helped.
Oh, cool. So do you have a favorite comedian?
Oh, I mean, so many. Gosh, there are so many people. I was really into George Carlin from a very, very young age. Weird Al. I grew up listening to Weird Al. Most of the Weird Al songs, I had heard them before the actual songs.
Same here.
Yeah, exactly. Mel Brooks, just all of the works of Mel Brooks. You really are, when you're a kid, at the mercy of what your parents expose you to. And luckily my parents exposed me to really cool stuff. And we watched a lot of sitcoms too. We watched Everybody Loves Raymond, so I knew Ray Romano. I watched Seinfeld with my parents, so I knew obviously about Jerry Seinfeld, but those are some of the early people.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I love Everybody Loves Raymond and Ray Romano. So
he's great. And have you seen the creator of Everybody Loves Raymond? This guy, Phil Rosenthal, has a delightful food show on Netflix called Somebody Feed Phil, where it's just him going to different cities and trying food. And he is the sweetest, cheesiest middle-aged Jewish man. And it's been such a nice escape. It's been such a nice escape show to watch.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah.
So what made you want to transition into acting?
Well, acting was really my first love. Kind of comedy and acting happened around the same time. And my love for them when I was about 4 or 5. And I just loved performing. I loved it so much. And then later on, I realized, oh, it's not just about look at me, look at me, look at me. It's also about making art and helping. It's really, what is the role of artists? What do we do? Why since the beginning of time have we painted on caves? Have we made music? And it's so that humans can feel joy and also understand what the world is and their place in it.
Cool.
It's a good answer.
So,
thank you.
Yeah. So you've guest starred in so many things, including Diary of a Future President, Into the Dark, and one of my favorite shows, How I Met Your Mother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually wearing my How I Met Your Mother necklace.
No way.
Yeah.
Wait, what's on it?
It's a blue thing. I can't remember what the instrument's called right now.
The French horn.
Oh yeah.
French horn. Really quickly, my husband wrote for How I Met Your Mother, which is how I got on it. He's in the next room. Do you have any questions about How I Met Your Mother that you'd like to ask him?
Oh.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Do you want me to get him?
Sure.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I was like, that's one of your favorite shows then, because he wrote on it for 4 years.
Oh, that's so cool.
Let me go grab him. Think of like one question that you'd want to ask about the show How I Met Your Mother, and I'll go grab him right now.
Okay.
This is pretty cool. You're getting 2 interviews in one.
Yeah.
This is my husband, Gregor. Gregor, this is Maya.
Hi, Maya. How you doing?
Hi. Good. How are you?
So you wrote for How I Met Your Mother for how many years, Gregor?
4 years. I wrote there. I was there for a long time.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
She's wearing the blue French horn necklace.
No way, really? Can I see?
Yeah, with a yellow umbrella.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wait, can I take a picture of that for Carter and Craig, the guys who
Yeah.
The guys who created the show would love that. I'm taking a picture.
Cool.
Oh, they're gonna love that.
Yeah.
I would say Maya is a true fan of the show, so.
Yeah.
So much. That means a lot, really. I mean, really, it's now 5 years later since it ended, and it means so much that people still think about the show and care about the show.
Cool. Yeah, well, I was wondering, so 2 of my favorite episodes are, I'm trying not to get the name wrong, the Pineapple Incident.
Was it? Sure, great.
And then Murtaugh.
Murtaugh was, you remember the names? What happens in Murtaugh? I'm vague.
The list that Ted has about things that he's too old to do, and so...
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. So I was wondering if you had a favorite episode that you wrote.
My favorite episode that I wrote was the episode where Barney meets his dad for the first time. And that was one that I was really proud of because it was, I mean, like I love the Barney character, and he's such a crazy, insane, sometimes terrible person. But like, I always felt like that storyline about him not knowing his father and always, wanting that for himself was always kind of the thing that made him a human being, that made him, have an emotional core. And so I was really proud that I got to write the episode where like all of those several years of storylines kind of came to a head. And, and he got to meet him, and then he also got to have this big fight with him about like, what it feels like to be abandoned by a father. And, anyway, so that was definitely my most proud episode to write, for sure. Yeah. And then I think, Ben Vereen was in that episode, and John Lithgow. So it was cool to get to meet them.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so very much. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Well, have a good day. It was so nice to meet you. And here's my hair.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks, Gregor.
Bye. Thank you.
Sorry to put you on the spot, but I was like, oh, great.
Thank you.
Sorry, back to your questions.
Well, so did I already ask this? Have you had a favorite project or character?
Oh, we were asking about the guest stars that I did.
Oh, okay.
And so what was my favorite of all the guest stars I've done?
Or just like all the, like, everything you've done. Have you had a favorite project or character?
Well, probably the show that I created and was on, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, is my favorite. That took up, that was a solid 4 years of my life. But through that, I've gotten How I Met Your Mother was actually way before that. And that was just something I auditioned for, which I was so happy to get. But since being a star on a TV show, I've gotten so many opportunities to come on to so many different shows and be there for a day on set. And I was recently a judge on a show called RuPaul's Drag Race. And it was the people on that show, it's a talent competition show, and everyone on there is so talented, and it was such a joy to be on that set.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
It was really fun.
Yeah. So my next question is actually about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. So you co-created and starred as Rebecca Bunch in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which you were also a writer and executive producer for. And you also won tremendous acclaim for the role. So I was wondering what inspired you to create Rebecca?
Well, I was doing music videos online, and my music videos were seen by this woman, Aline Brosh McKenna, who was a big deal screenwriter. She wrote the movie The Devil Wears Prada, 27 Dresses. She's like a really big deal. And she saw my videos and she said, I want to create a TV show with you. And she had an idea for a movie called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, about being a crazy ex from the crazy ex's point of view. And that's what inspired us to create it. And we kind of created the character of Rebecca based on elements of my life and of her life. And we just kind of improvised aloud in a room together. And that's how we really wrote the pilot.
Oh, cool. So there's so many amazing songs from the show. Do you have a favorite?
Well, it changes all of the time. But I would say my current favorite, my current favorite is this beautiful song called What'll It Be in the first season. That's this Billy Joel style song. And I just love that song.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I really like that song.
Cool.
Yeah. So I do this thing called music therapy, and my music therapist and I always will work on create mashups of songs. So I wrote a mashup of just these different Crazy Ex-Girlfriend songs that I was gonna show to her, and so.
Oh, that's so cool! Oh my gosh, what a cool music therapist!
Yeah. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend deals with so many topics, including mental health, and you showed such an honest portrayal of that. And why was it important to you to address these topics?
Well, from the beginning, we wanted to look at the term crazy ex-girlfriend from a woman's perspective, because so many of the narratives about that type of person are from the outside looking in. And we wanted to really, first of all, look at romantic comedies in general and really look at, well, what are the things we're told that love should be? We're told love should make you crazy. So then when someone acts crazy, are they really doing anything wrong? Because we're told love makes you crazy. And so we really wanted to look into and deconstruct everything about being in love and falling in love. And I've lost the train of my own thought. What was the question again, so I can actually answer it?
So why was it important to you?
Right. So it was important because to really explore something from a character's point of view who otherwise has been seen as an other and laughed at, it was important to understand what makes her tick. And that, part of that is, okay, well, what would make someone do the things that she did from a compassionate point of view? And that's when you get into mental health.
Yeah. I love, one of my favorite songs is the antidepressants are so not a big deal, because I just, like, it's true. And I don't feel like a lot of shows like kind of show that. Like, there are a couple, but I feel like a lot of them just kind of act like, it's this huge deal if, like, you're taking them.
Yes. And the reality is, as we said in that song, it's everyone's on them, and not everyone, but so many people are on them. And when they're dosed correctly, like with all medication, it's great. And it shouldn't be this big, shameful thing of, I'm on medication because I need help. For instance, I personally am on an antidepressant, and it's because my brain chemistry, when I'm not taking one, makes my serotonin levels lower than they should be, in that it makes me not as happy. My baseline emotion is lower than what I need it to be in order to be the best version of myself. And so the fact that I need a pill to help my brain, to give my brain a boost and be the best version of myself, I don't think I should feel ashamed about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so true. Such good advice too.
Yeah. I think whatever makes you the best version of yourself, whatever makes you the healthiest, best version of yourself, and doesn't hurt other people, like whatever that is, go for it.
Yeah, I agree with that. So you're also a singer-songwriter, and you released a bunch of your own music, including your album, Please Love Me. Where do you find inspiration for your songs?
Well, everywhere, but I think that something that really inspires me is what I notice to be true about life, and then the things that I feel haven't been covered in popular music. So it's always that gap between the two that inspires me.
Cool. So what song would be on the soundtrack to your life?
Oh, like of every song in the world?
Yeah.
Soundtrack to my life. Ooh. Wow, that's a hard question.
Would it be some of the songs that you've written?
Probably, but you know what? I'm going to say Monty Python's Always Look on the Bright Side of Life.
That's a fantastic one.
Really, that one is like very much me in many ways.
Cool. So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero, and why?
Well, I think the people working in hospitals with COVID patients right now are pretty amazing. For that matter, anyone doing research for COVID. But when I think about the doctors who are putting themselves at risk, the doctors and nurses, any medical worker who's putting themselves at risk to help people, and they're on the forefront of understanding what this illness does and what the virus does. I have a friend in New York who is a lung specialist, and they're the superheroes right now.
Cool. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for calling in. I loved talking to you.
Thank you. This was such a pleasure, and I hope that you're staying safe and that your family's safe and that you're all safe in the studio there too.
Yep, I'm the only one in the studio, so that's why I don't have to wear a mask right now.
That's good. Good. Well, it was lovely talking to you.
You too.
Awesome. All right.
Have a lovely day, both of you.
You too.
Bye, Rachel. Thank you so very much.
Bye, my pleasure.